Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of What If. So, this is What If Season 1, Episode 3. What if the world's mightiest heroes, what if the world lost its mightiest heroes? Sorry about that. Excuse me. Let me take care of some business first. Then we'll get down to it. It'll be a non-spoiler version first, and then we'll get to the spoilers. So if you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithm of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of his videos, my fast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. And I also have the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page. And for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. So, for the non-spoiler version of this, people are always going to ask, do I need to see the movies? Yes, you do. In particular, this one is it's kind of funny. They crossed over a little bit with Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk on that one. So it's Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton, of course, Thor, Iron Man. The first Iron Man there, and yeah, I think that about covers everything. Well, also, well, there's another movie that I can't really say because it will spoil a whole bunch of stuff. But this episode was okay. So the motivation of the villain in this episode, I'll get into it in the spoiler version, but there was kind of a weird motivation for the villain and for what their actions were, but they might be explained away in a different way. But was it good? Out of the 3 so far that we've had, no, it's the least out of the 3. I still like the T'Challa episode probably the best, last episode that we had. And of course, the Peggy Carter was pretty damn good. I like that too. Yes, I know, Penn, it had Tom Hiddleston in it, so you were happy with that. But yes, it is the weakest out of the 3 so far, but still, that's saying Marvel is actually really, really good at their stuff. Even the bad stuff is better than most shit that's out there right now. So by saying this is the weakest out of the 3 is like saying, Mozart misplayed one key or something like that. I'm not to make these episodes so highfalutin in that respect, but yeah, even when they're bad, they're good. So yeah. So with that said, let's move over to the spoilers. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. All right. You got plenty of time to walk away now. There you go. Okay. So the whole thing with the Avengers being hunted down before Nick Fury can recruit them was interesting. And it could have been good if it wasn't for the weird motivation of Hank Pym being the villain, because Hope Van Dyne died on a mission for Nick Fury. So it was kind of weird that, Hank had this, he had it out for Nick, but for some reason he's killing innocent people in order to get back at Nick Fury for, his daughter's death on a mission. It didn't make sense, quite honestly, unless you start looking at it from Hank Pym being in the Yellow Jacket costume, and maybe he was a little crazed from being in the Yellow Jacket costume. I don't know. But that was one of the whole things that he had solved, was that, shrinking down makes you, something goes wrong with your brain chemistry. That was what was in the first Ant-Man, of course. So Ant-Man being the other movie that you need to watch for this. And he had solved that problem early on. So when he and his wife, Janet Van Dyne, became, Ant-Man and the Wasp, he had already solved that problem. So they didn't have that issue of going insane. So that's why it just didn't. Yeah. Exactly, Mufino. He seemed crazy-eyed. They did the rings under his eyes. They made him look insane, and that's what I was thinking. That since he was wearing the yellow jacket costume, maybe he had gone insane. I don't know, but yeah, we'll never know. Philip A. Demick says, "I was blown away. I thought it was the best thing I've seen all summer." Really, this one? It wasn't really the best one out of the three, but sure. Yeah, it isn't his character to get pissed at the Avengers. Yes, true, and against Shield and all that stuff. But it's still for him to take lives at that point. That is not in his nature. So, and yes, having Hiddleston. And I had to think back for a second. I'm like, yeah, this is before Loki actually disappears with the Tesseract and ends up becoming, after this is when he becomes Thanos's bitch, essentially. So before at this point in time in Thor, he still hasn't met Thanos yet. And so he is still the swaggering little shit that he was. And yeah, having him trying to take over Earth was kind of funny. And then, of course, at the end, having your Avengers are gone, and except for Cap, who's frozen in ice, who Nick Fury finds, and of course Captain Marvel, who of course he calls as well. And one of the things that kind of would have been nice is if Fury maybe started calling up like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and things like that, because we already knew he knew of them. He just hadn't reached out to them. They would have been the reserves, if you will. And you could have had that little, Black Panther, all of that there. That would have been kind of fun to watch too. Just to have not just Miss Marvel and Cap Shield, Frozen Shield. Yes, you got her to watch episode 2. Nice. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't, like I said, a horrible episode, but it wasn't the best out of the 3 so far. Philip A. Demick says, "Is this thing a 2-parter? Who do you think will be the new Avengers?" Besides, no, it's not a 2-parter, Philip. So that's it. That's the episode. Is what if, and so they show you a little bit and they end it. As I've stated in the previous 2 episodes of this, the What If comic used to just do one shots like this, and you would have a story like, I want to know more. I want more of this. And they would go, tough. That's all we're going to do. Sometimes there'd be a story that would be so popular that yes, they would run with it and do another, sequel to it in What If, but rarely they would do that. And I think the same is going to be, well, I don't know. For this one, they could actually do stuff in season 2 and call back to it, or do a sequel to some of the more popular episodes or one of the more popular episodes. We'll see what happens. It's kind of hard to do with animation because your animation is done so far in advance, and then by the time it comes out on TV and becomes, one thing becomes popular, and they have to set it up, again in advance. Yeah, it's that pesky little drawing thing. Well, in this case, animating. So I think they're doing 3D animation, making it look like 2D animation. And again, the fighting was actually pretty good in this one. When Black Widow is kicking the shit out of the Shield agents inside the truck, that was actually pretty good. They did a nice job in the animating of that. And Lake Bell doing the voice for Natasha was pretty good as well. I did like that. Yeah. Moving says, so the real question is, are some of these connecting later on? We don't know. We won't know for a little while there. Doctor Strange instead of Captain Marvel for sure is what Penn says. Yeah. Well, you got your Cumberbatch fixation as much as your Hiddleston fixation. I know that, Penn. So yeah, you need your British boys there. Philip says Betty Ross as Red She-Hulk. She's not going to be becoming Red She-Hulk in this. So this is an alternate universe, Philip. So what they're doing is they're just looking at different alternate universes as this is happening, because now the timeline is fractured because of Loki in the TVA, and this is the result of this. So everything from here on out in the MCU is going to be fractured stuff, and we're going to be dealing with the aftermath of Loki. That's what phase 4 is all about. We're in phase 4, right? I think we're in phase 4 or phase 5. I don't know. Philip A. Demick says my favorite was What If Captain America versus. My favorite of the Conan ones was What If Conan came to the 20th century and or was transported to the 20th century, and he basically becomes this drug kingpin and warlord and whatnot. And it was actually kind of funny because you always think of Conan as being virtuous, and really he's not. He's just in it for himself, for the fame and the glory, and that's what he does. And actually, I think they did a sequel to that one because that one was actually pretty popular. Apple Crow says I'm always late to start. So there's this little schedule thing I've got, and then also sometimes I'm half an hour late, but never early. You know that, Apple Crow. Penn says yes, more Brit boys, but anyone instead of Captain Marvel. Yeah, Captain Marvel is not my favorite either. And it's mainly just because the character is bland. The character is very, very bland. Yeah, they should just call her Carol Blanders instead of Carol Danvers. That's who she is. Yeah. That's the prequel to Cap versus. Oh, so that's what it was. Cap versus Conan was the sequel to it. There you go. There you go, Philip. Hey, yeah, that's right. So Apple Crow gave Penn his ears, his Mickey Mouse ears that he had won. So. Oh, you're late to the show series. Oh, okay, got it. You hadn't watched the Marvel stuff yet. Got it. I got it. Yeah, so I never look at what the preview is for this. For this show, I just don't want to be spoiled. As it is, I still have an issue with them doing them putting up who the casts are as the beginning credits are rolling, because it gives away what's going to happen in the episode, because I know who, especially when you know who the actors are playing in the or who they're voicing their characters that they played in the MCU live action, and it kind of spoils things. So when I saw that Michael Douglas was one of the voices and then I didn't see Hank Pym there, I'm like, oh, so it's Hank Pym. You kind of figured out who it was just from that. So it kind of spoils their own episodes by putting that in. I'd rather that they just do the opening credits and say, executive producer, who wrote it, who directed it, get to the stuff, and then do the voice work afterwards. Yeah. So Penn says the episodes are only half hour long. Yeah, that's right. They are only half hour long. Exactly. And you've been binging Justified, Apple Crow. Justified's good. It's a good one. Raymond says, did y'all talk Spider-Man yet? No, we haven't, because we're talking about What If. Yeah. I haven't talked about the Spider-Man trailer. I'm not going to. It was good. I liked it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, I'm going to keep on the What If for right now. And speaking of What If, I got my What If box up here. Yeah. And I put some pictures or I put a picture up on my Instagram and on my Facebook page. And I also, this is part of the shirt that I got, which if I could actually stand, which is hard to do sometimes in here. But there you go. Join us to victory. Join us now to victory. What was the pin? It was actually the shield, the Peggy Carter shield, with the Union Jack instead of the star. So that was good. How many more what ifs this season? There are 9 episodes this season. So we have what is that? 6 more. There we go. 6 episodes left. Yeah, initially it said 18 episodes, and I was like, what? They're doing 18 episodes a season? That's actually kind of cool. And then they cut it. They said, no, it's 9 and 9. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. That works too. Apple Crow says, ironically, I'd like DC to copy this and do some more Elseworld. Yeah, I would like to see more Elseworlds as well. Elseworlds is good. No problem, Raymond. I just try and keep things, focused when I'm doing a certain episode. Yeah. And I hope you get better, man. Strep throat's better than what else is out there. Although, yeah. Just don't drink any lemonade. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't do it. Gargle with warm salt water is what you got there. That'll help a little bit, especially if you're having a strep there. Don't do it often. Just do it maybe once a day, if that. Ditto on Elseworlds. I like Star. Yeah, Stargirl was pretty good this week too. So, what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow is going to be Morks' favorite show, and Morks isn't here because I haven't said Morks 3 times. Wait, I just did. Oh my god! Morks' favorite show, Titans, is going to be on tomorrow. So we're going to be covering that. Friday, I'm going to be off on Friday because there's nothing playing. So we're just going to do, nothing on Friday. I toyed with the idea of doing it as worth my time, but I was like, no, I could use a day off. Saturday is going to be Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the weekend or genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Sunday is going to be spoiler alert, and spoiler alert is basically when we can talk about anything and everything that's come out. We can talk about that Spider-Man trailer. We can talk about, Justified if you want to. We can talk about all kinds of stuff on spoiler alert. That's the Fast and Loose series there. Monday, I'll be off. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be Reminiscence with, that was one I promised to do this week, but, something else better came out. So I'll be doing Reminiscence on Tuesday. That's the Hugh Jackman movie. And of course, we come back around to Wednesday to What If, and we'll see what If offers us next week. Yeah. Mufinobi says, so we have Shang-Chi, Eternals. No, Eternals might be pushed back. So there's a whole bunch of stuff right now that's happening because of, all the COVID restrictions and the Delta variant coming back out again. So Shang-Chi is the only thing that might still be on track to release when it does. But the Eternals, they're talking about pushing it to next year. And also Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. There's already rumors that it's going to March of 2022. So, but Spider-Man is supposed to be staying in December because, of course, they just released the trailer. So, yeah. So after What If, the MCU is quiet on D Plus until what? Arrow? It's going to be Arrow right afterwards. Mufinobi. It'll be Arrow on Hawkeye. Arrow. You got me saying it, man. Candy Morks? Yeah, it is pretty much Morks. Unless you say Emma Stone's boobs, then sometimes he shows up. He might have heard that across the ether. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the acronyms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all my pages are on there as well. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to let you guys go. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you might not know what universe you're going to end up in next, because who knows what the hell the Watcher's doing. I think he's just channel surfing now at this point. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for Titans. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Wear those masks. There we go. Get those vaccine shots and stay safe out there. Stay well, everyone. Thanks, Moo Finobi. You didn't need to do that. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good night.